Caitlin had a lot to say at practice today about that. Basically, number one, on just returning to play and returning to action.
What have these last few days felt like for you leading into tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I think it's just nice to get back out there and get to the flow of, playing with my teammates again. And, it's gonna be fun to get back out there, hopefully, and just feel things again. I think, I don't know what type of minutes I'm going to get, will look like, but just when I'm out there, like, compete, play hard. This is going to be a team that's going to be moving constantly. So just being aware and active, bring energy. I think that, it's obviously hard sitting out and watching for a few weeks. So I'm definitely excited to be back.
Caitlin is finally back. Angel Reese is fired up. And DeWanna Bonner just made a shocking return to Phoenix. But even as the WNBA explodes with talent, energy, and headlines, there's something deeper happening behind the scenes. Talks of a potential lockout are gaining steam. From rising rookie stars to veteran trades to collective bargaining tensions. This week in the WNBA has everything drama, power plays, and a warning sign that could shake the future of the league.
A frustration at the end of the game. It is funny though when you play the clip over and over. This was a warranted crash out. Like, we can give Angel Reese a pass for this crash out. But Angel Reese, over her last 6 games, has recorded over 15 rebounds in each game. And if you guys look at her stat lines here, they actually are pretty insane. 22 and 15, 16 and 17, 24 and 16, 17 and 18, 18 and 17, and 10 points and 19 rebounds. She has really stepped up. Also, her field goal percentage across the board has also made a leap. I think she is closer to 50% in her field goal percentage now. So Angel Reese is definitely finding her own. And I think one of the biggest parts of her game.
After missing 5 games due to a groin injury, Caitlin Clark is finally back at Indiana Fever practice. But her return didn't look like what fans were expecting. This time, Clark wasn't the primary ball handler. That role was taken over by Ari McDonald, a speedy, defensive-minded guard recently brought into the Fever's rotation. Clark shifted into more of an off-ball shooter role, something we haven't seen consistently this season. And it might be the smartest move the Fever have made all year. With Ari running point, Clark had more freedom to move, cut, and find open shots, which is exactly where she thrives. Her movement without the ball was fluid, and it stretched the defense in ways we haven't seen yet this season. But fans are asking, is this a long-term shift? Or just a one-game adjustment to ease Clark back in after injury? Head coach Stephanie White hasn't confirmed either way, but she did hint at new combinations and a fresh approach in recent pressers. With Indiana still on the edge of playoff contention, unlocking Clark's full potential off the ball might be the edge they desperately need.
That WNBA All-Stars will receive $2,575. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to read aloud. $2,575 for playing in the game, with MVPs earning double that, so around $5,000. And then Aflac will award the winners of the 3-point and skills contest more than 20 times what the WNBA offers its winners. So again, you guys, like, this number is laughable.
In a move that surprised even longtime WNBA insiders, veteran star DeWanna Bonner has been traded back to the Phoenix Mercury, the team where she began her career and became a 2-time champion. Bonner, who's now the 6th all-time leading scorer in WNBA history, spent the last several seasons anchoring the Connecticut Sun. But with Connecticut looking to retool and Phoenix hunting for playoff firepower, the trade made sense for both sides, at least on paper. Now reunited with Diana Taurasi, yes, 42-year-old Diana Taurasi, and paired with recent addition Kalea Copper, the Mercury are suddenly a team to watch. But this is more than just a reunion.
For Fever fans is seeing her pairing with Ari McDonald. Caitlin spoke about that as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. Obviously, I haven't played a game with her, I don't think, at least. She's kind of been here when I've been out, so I think it'll be great. I think it'll be nice to play with another point guard who can, read the floor really well and, get me to come off a few screens rather than, just playing out a ball screen mostly. And, we're still going to do a lot of that and play in transition and all that. But when we have an opportunity to run me off some screens, and I think that just gives the defense another thing they have to plan for. And we're not, as predictable as we may have been earlier in the season. So try some of that, but I think it'll be a lot of fun.
But right now, her competitive fire might be starting to burn a little too hot, and everyone's noticing. During a recent Chicago Sky game, Cameras captured several moments of visible frustration from Reese. She was seen shaking her head after defensive breakdowns, throwing her arms up in disbelief after a missed assignment, and even having what appeared to be a heated exchange with a teammate on the bench. Her body language said it all. She's fed up. This isn't just a one-off moment. It's the latest sign of emotional wear and tear from a player who has been pouring everything she has into this team since day one. Angel isn't just playing hard. She's playing to change the culture in Chicago. But when the team around her fails to execute, fails to hustle, fails to meet her level of intensity, it clearly eats at her. Let's be real. Reese has every reason to be frustrated. She's leading all rookies in rebounds, notching double-doubles like it's routine, and doing it while facing the league's toughest defenders. On offense, she's relentless in the paint. On defense, she battles for every board.
A front office sports article that I saw today. So Nneka Ogwumike said that there were inconsistencies where we wanted to start negotiations based on what the players want when it comes to salary structure, revenue sharing, and a few other things. And then Nneka said this. She said, it's been made clear that there's this perception that the players don't understand the business. Kathy has told me that to my face. I communicated that to the players, and I said, let's demonstrate that we do understand the business, especially as we're going back and forth in negotiations.
But the Sky have been wildly inconsistent. Missed assignments, lazy rotations, unforced turnovers. And when you're competing night after night at Angel's level, that kind of sloppy execution becomes unbearable. She wants wins, not just stats. And when those wins don't come, it's personal. After the game, Angel didn't sugarcoat it. In a post-game press conference, she said, "We can't keep making the same mistakes. I want to win. And I'm going to hold everybody accountable." Let that sink in. That's a rookie calling out her team, challenging the culture and demanding more, publicly. For some fans, that's exactly what a leader does. For others, it raises eyebrows. Is she inspiring her teammates or alienating them? Is this passion or pressure boiling over? But one thing is absolutely clear. Angel Reese came to win. She didn't come to be a media darling. She didn't come for magazine covers or viral clips. She came for playoff basketball. She came for legacy. And if her teammates or her coaching staff don't match her intensity, she's not going to stay silent. This is who she is. She leads loudly. She competes fiercely. And she refuses to accept mediocrity.
Thing between the WNBA PA and Unrivaled. So there was this tweet that was going around by this random user on Twitter, and she said, so let me get this straight. Brianna Stewart is WNBA PA president, which isn't totally true. Brianna Stewart is WNBA PA vice president. Nneka Ogwumike is president. But she said Brianna Stewart is WNBA PA vice president. Nafisa Collier is a VP. They co-founded Unrivaled, a league that benefits if there's a WNBA lockout, and they're the ones leading the CBA negotiations. How do you negotiate that in good faith, make it make sense? And then Nafisa Collier actually replied to this tweet, and she said, so let me get this straight. While everyone else was enjoying fireworks, you were thinking about how me and Stewie, of all people, are conspiring to force a lockout that would result in less money year-round for WNBA players.
And now let's talk about something that could change everything. There are growing whispers from agents, journalists, and even some players that a WNBA lockout may be on the horizon. It's all centered around the league's collective bargaining agreement, or CBA. The current agreement, signed in 2020, has an opt-out clause at the end of this season, and both the players' union and the league office know it. The issue? The WNBA is growing fast. Viewership is at an all-time high, social media engagement is exploding, and big sponsorships are rolling in. But players say their treatment hasn't caught up with the growth. From travel issues like being forced to fly commercial while NBA players charter jets to low salaries, limited marketing rights, and grueling schedules, the players want more. And they're not afraid to push for it. In a recent interview, Angel Reese voiced what many players are thinking. She said, if we're going to be treated like professionals, the league has to invest like it. The players' union could trigger the opt-out clause and force an early renegotiation, but if both sides can't agree, that would lead to a work stoppage or lockout, just like we've seen in the NBA and NFL in the past. It's not official, not yet, but the temperature is rising. And if the league doesn't act fast, the 2026 WNBA season could be at risk.
I think she failed to get a rebound on that play, and she actually called out the team for not boxing out for rebounds later afterwards in the post-game press conference. Nonetheless, it's a rough season for the Chicago Sky, but Reese has snapped out of that sophomore slump, and you won't hear me criticizing her over showing a little emotion and a little competitiveness. I'm sure there'll be people who try to play the body language hypocrisy game because some tried to cherry pick something Caitlin Clark did, throwing her arms up in the air. But
So here we are. Caitlin Clark is back and playing a new role that could redefine her career. DeWanna Bonner is making a legacy move back to where it all began. Angel Reese is demanding accountability and refusing to lose quietly. And behind it all, the CBA clock is ticking. The WNBA has never had this much attention. But with growth comes pressure, and the next 2 years could either make this league stronger than ever or bring it to a grinding halt. One thing is clear. The future of the WNBA is being written right now. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss something major. If you want more weekly breakdowns, drama, and real talk about the WNBA, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let us know, is Caitlin Clark better off the ball? Should Angel Reese dial it back or keep speaking out? And do you think a WNBA lockout is really coming? Thanks for watching.